Hello, my name is Matt. This outline, step by step, is for Katy Perry's Extraterrestrial red themed makeup from the video. I'm personally not a huge Katy Perry fan, but the song really hooked me in, and I'm a pretty big fan of Floria Sigismondi, who directed the video. Um, she's also directed videos for Marilyn Manson and David Bowie, who I'm a fan of as well. So here we go. I'm going to start off with applying my foundation, which is L'Oreal True Match W2 Light Ivory Liquid Foundation. Next, what I do is I put L'Oreal Bare Naturel Mineral Powder in Soft Ivory over this, which will help set it and prevent shininess from coming through. And then what I'm going to do next is apply my eyeliner. I use NYC Automatic Eyeliner Pencil in Basic Black. I'm going to apply an eyeshadow over the liner to further darken it. I'm going to be using Rimmel Jet Black and just a regular paintbrush because I'm a thrifty art student. Okay, so now I've done that, and basically when I was using the brush, I was taking the eyeshadow and just brushing it a little bit and then like dabbing along the edge, not making a line with it, because I find that when you dab, there's less of a chance of the bristles flaying out and spraying little bits of powder all over your face, which is always annoying. And don't worry about making mistakes on the edges, because you'll just be covering up the mistakes with bright red later on. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add a little bit of contour to my face. I'm using Maybelline EyeStudio number 30 in Khaki Crazy. It looks like this. And I'm using this type of brush. I don't know what it's called, but it's pretty soft. And what I do is I brush down from my cheekbones. So go around my jawline. I'm going to add a little bit on the sides of my nose. I'm going to add a little bit in my temples too. Okay, and then the next portion of the makeup is to do the large red, basically like this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take masking tape and I'm going to put it across my face so that on the three top edges of the rectangle, so that I can get a nice clean crisp line, and then the bottom line I'm going to draw with the crayon freehand because of my nose, which is an awkward shape and not good for making straight lines across. So you don't want to push it down too hard so that it'll take off your foundation, but just gently tap it on enough so that it stays. And what you're going to do is you're going to take, I have Fantasy Maker's Enchanted Body Crayon in red, and I think I got this at CVS for $3. And I'm going to set it with a Manic Panic powder, also in red. What you could do without the tape, you would want to get like a thinner crayon or use a brush, but this is a fairly big diameter and the edges aren't very clean on it because I've used it a lot, so I'm going to use this to prevent wonky edges. I've applied the basic outline with the makeup crayon and I removed the tape around it so that you can see that it got a pretty clear edge, except for down at the bottom. I can just clean that up you can use like a toothpick or something with a really fine edge. I'm just going to use my fingernail to just gently, one swipe, wipe my fingernail, another swipe to just clean up the edge. Try and work from along the bottom edge. What I did was I worked from the, like, just above where I wanted it and just brought it down just a tiny bit to make sure that, like, if you really are unsatisfied with how your line looks and it gets all crazy, you're going to have to wipe off all of the makeup. So now I've got that done. What I did was for the eyeliner, I got really close to the eyeliner. For those with eyebrows, you don't have to cover them up for this look, because if you just get enough makeup over your eyebrow and like inside under the hairs, it can just smooth over. There's a little bit of a red line above the actual rectangle, which goes from pretty much from tear duct to tear duct. And what you do for setting it, what I do is I take the eyeshadow and I rub my finger in it and I just dab it on. It can take a little bit of time, especially with how much area you have to cover, but I personally, it's how I ensure that I cover it all. Since I don't have any jewels, because she has a formation of them from the upper rectangle down to just the very bridge of her nose, and then design of jewels. I'm going to use this cheapo little Color Concepts palette. I'm going to be using a gold color with a hint of white over it to make it really pop out and shine. I made each of the dots pretty much the size of a pencil eraser, and I added a dot of white over them, be on the upper left of the jewel on your face. If you want to do that, you don't have to. I just added it to make a bit of dimension. You can kind of see it. For the geometric lines, they're going to be a little tricky no matter what you do for them. A couple ways that I would do it, or think of doing it, would be to have a brush and an eyeshadow and do it. That can be really time consuming, as you have to be really meticulous with what you're doing. You have to have a really steady hand too, and I know that on a lot of days I am in a rush putting on makeup and I do not have the ability to hold my hand still. You could get an eyeliner pencil, which is what I'm going to be using. I'm going to use black because I'm hardcore, but in the makeup scheme it's kind of a tumbler background blue, and you could buy an appropriate eyeliner pencil for that. I do not have one. You could also, if you really wanted to try something different or more accurate for the lines, you could get like a piece of fine string that doesn't have a lot of like frayed edges, and you could coat that in eyeshadow and place it gently over where you want the lines to be. And that would take a little bit of time too, and a little bit of more involved effort, but it would probably get you the straightest line that you could get, and then you could just touch up with a brush, or if you wanted to. What I have so far for the triangle formations, what I did was I drew the external edge first, and then 3 lines dividing that up downward, and then just lining up with the edge of the lines on the side. I drew 3 lines going across, and then just drew the 3 triangles in there at the edges, and then you're going to draw lines down from each point of the triangle. Get that they come closer together as they get further down your face, and you're going to have 2 lines. So I did the chin roll already. 2 lines coming down from your lip that meet at the center that are going to branch out, and then 2 lines going down from the point that those form, and they're going to touch the innermost line going down. You want to go really slowly with the lines so that you can get them as straight as you possibly can down your face. Obviously your face, everyone's face is not always just a flat cheek, so it makes it a little harder, so you just have to be a little bit more careful as you go down, trying to keep the pencil straight and everything. Now what I use for lipstick, I have a brand called Rouge Absolu, which I understand is to be very expensive. I got this as a present. The color is Mars, which I understand to be discontinued. Now what she has in the video is more of a nude or a light brown lipstick. You can also use a neutral pink for this as well. If you want, you can always pop in a pair of like, I would say blue contact lenses. Voila, you have your finished Katy Perry red extraterrestrial look. This is just my first tutorial. I hope that you found it helpful. And costume on.